Yes, sir. What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco. We back with another one.
Yes,
We back
sir.
with another one. The only thing better than only thing like about as good as the Eagles win is when the Cowboys lose. So that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm a little bit more excited than I probably should be. We just got off like our little interview with former Eagles mascot Ryan
Yeah, that
Hughes.
was dope. That was
I'm
dope.
hyped. You can't bring me down right now. I don't care. It looks like we
Well,
might get that fifth pick.
we
You know
could
what
bring you
I'm
down a little bit. If you think about it,
saying?
after this long journey of podcasting, this is the last live pregame this season for the
Yeah,
Eagles.
it is kind of sad. Yeah, it is kind of sad. I mean, we're gonna have a whole lot of stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody already in the chat. Tyler Stickman. Oof. That's how them Cowboys is
Oof.
feeling right now. That's how them Cowboys fans feeling right now. Shout out to Infamous 2K. My guy, what's good? But it is what it is. Yes, this is the last, pre-game live. But there's a lot of good things happening, man. Like
Yep.
we're taking over. Philly the podcast is taking over this year. All right. Before we get too far into this game, because realistically, if you're watching this right now, I love you because there's really no reason for us to be doing this pregame. This game matters like nuts, none whatsoever. So I love you guys. But couple things. Yeah, we have the interview with the Eagles mascot coming out tomorrow. I just joined A2D Radio, so I'll be making content for them as well. Thank you. So we got a lot of good things going on. Chase and Smith tearing me apart. I don't know who to pick. I'm not even going to watch the game. Just so damn happy the Cowgirls lost. Big facts, bro. Big facts. I mean, listen, man. Listen, man. People are asking me like, oh, should we just go ahead and get that W now? We could fall all the way to number 9. Number 5 and number 9 is a big drop.
That's a
You know what
big
I'm saying?
difference.
Hell yeah. So how you feeling, man? How you feeling about today, man?
Like we were just saying, or like you were just saying, watching the Cowboys lose in the dramatic fashion that it was, with Gallman fumbling and then doing a split on the ball and ended up getting the football back. That was funny to watch, especially if you really think about it. This dude not keeping the Cowboys out of the playoffs again, Jason Garrett. It's hilarious. And like, even if the Eagles for some reason win today when they should not win, I can sleep easy knowing the Cowboys aren't going to the playoffs too.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really know many Washington fans. Maybe you guys do. I think I know two. You know what I'm saying? I think one of them is like a content creator, and the other one is just randomly somehow a Washington fan. So I really could care less if they make it. This will be the
Right.
second time they've made it. Like I want to say in this decade that it's been on some like the rest of the teams are just terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's not like they really earned that spot, but it is what it is. They look like they're gonna make it, so good for them. You know what I mean? Hopefully they could steal a win. I think they'll be going against the Packers or Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. That's who they would be going against. They would be having a home game
Right.
against
Honestly,
Tamitha Brady.
I don't know if I think Washington will give them a fight. I think Washington will give them the best fight out of if it was the Giants, to be honest.
Defensively, I think they're like the best built to play Tom
Right.
Brady because every time you play Tom Brady, you want to bring that pressure, you want to make him uncomfortable. I think you can say that with any quarterback, but I feel like that's the one recipe to beat Tom Brady that's been proven over and over and over again. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went out there and found some type of offense and stole a game. It is what it is. I'm
Right.
I'm like going back and forth. So everybody in the chat, please make sure you're watching that Houston game for me, or at least the score, because that's the difference between 5 and 6 right now. If we lose, if we win, obviously, then that's a whole different. But I want to ask you a question because honestly, I've been thinking about this. Well, it's going to be a two-parter. One, how are you feeling about this whole Wentz situation? Because I know that we knew, there were murmurs that he wasn't happy and stuff like that. But realistically, bro, like, you don't even want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even want to fight for your job. Like, we were talking about it with Ryan earlier. Like, you get paid a lot of money, man. Everybody's had to fight for their job, whether it be McDonald's or whether it be Bank of
Right.
America. Like, there's gonna be competition in your job, and I feel like he's just quitting. He's just giving up. How do you feel about that?
So we don't know everything that's going on, right? So we only know what's out there on face value and what we see and what we speculate. And from what we see a guy that looks like he's not willing to fight. He's seen this adversity and he's willing to ask for the trade and pack it up. But we also don't really know what's going on inside with Howie, with him and Doug. What's that relationship like? Is it that Wentz is not that he doesn't want to fight for his job, but is it great? I fight for my job, and if I win it, am I still stuck in the same situation that I just was in, where they're not catering the offense around me? They're drafting a quarterback when we could use another offensive weapon or a defensive weapon to help this team go further. There's a bunch of little things that I feel like there has to be more to it than just I don't want to fight for my position because I'm the God's given Carson Wentz and I should be able to be the starter no matter where I go. I feel like there's no way that can be it. And if that is it solely on that, I mean, that's just bad on his character.
Yeah, if that's what I'm saying. If it is coming down to just straight up, he doesn't want to fight for his job, which that seems like what it is, to be honest. I mean, you can sit there and be like, obviously things aren't going right. Things haven't been going right for him for a while, though. Realistically, he has not been the 2017 Carson, obviously since 2017. But we haven't really seen the Carson that we paid $100 million to, or that we thought we would see. So it's not like it just. Obviously, this is the worst season by far, like
Right.
from top to bottom. But I just can't see how all of a sudden all that matters. You know what I'm saying? Like now you got paid, and now everything that was going wrong for a couple years is just all breaking down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I love Carson, and you saw the post that I did obviously on the page. Everybody saw that. I love Carson. I love Ertz. I love everybody that's on this team. But if you're not willing to fight, you know what I'm saying? Especially against Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is cool, man. He's gotten us excited and everything. Right. But Carson, you were picked number 2 for a reason.
Sometimes it's not about the money. It's probably easier to say when you have the money than for someone that would love to have the money, be like, yo, I do whatever it took. I would sit on the sideline and just kick it for the amount of money that he's getting. But for some people, just mentally, when you're in it, you want to be the man and you want to be this, and you want to be in a situation that's that you can manage and something that you feel comfortable with. And if he's not feeling comfortable with Doug and they're just not clicking, then he's always going to get the scrutiny of being in a bad team, bad offense, whatever it may be, if things aren't improving. Because like you said, even though his numbers were good last year, you could still see that struggle, and we had to fight and grit till the end of the season. And even the year before that, whereas when 2017, when we had the coaching staff that really helped and flourished and everything like that. So this is just ongoing that we haven't seen because we were going to the playoffs because he got hurt and Nick Foles came in and stuff like that. But this could all be brewing the last 2-3 years for all we know.
Facts. I mean, he said he's willing to help, or at least the report. The report says that he would be willing to help, facilitate a trade. I can't really believe the trade rumors, or at least I don't want to say trade rumors, but I can't really believe some of these reports just because the way that it's written.
Right.
Like it seems to fall far too perfectly into what all fans thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he wants to go, and the first place he thought of was Indianapolis. I'm sure he still loves Frank Reich. I'm sure there is a connection there, but I highly doubt that it came out that much came out. I'm sure there's a lot that are just kind of being added on to it. People are kind of throwing their little
it's a lot of
twist to it.
The news is very driven by what people want and everything like that. So if you want people to click your article, to read your article, especially for us Eagles fans, this is the article to do, especially now that we don't have playoff aspirations. There was a quarterback drama, all that. There's been the downfall of the Eagles this whole season. So, shoot, if you want people to come click on your stuff, why not just put Carson Wentz wants to go to the Colts?
You know exactly. I mean? Just put Carson and whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get clicks, man. That's marketing 101 right now for Philly because we're just going crazy. I mean, it is what it is. I hope that if he is gonna leave, like I said, I hope we get some type of value back. I was shout out to Chandler Jackson. He was kind of talking about it earlier, and he was saying, you would kind of hope for like maybe a second and something conditional if you're
Right.
able to, obviously fix his contract a little bit. And then with the draft coming up, we were talking about it a little bit off camera. I wanted a top 3 pick. We're obviously not going to get that. We're looking like a top 5, which is still good, a number 5
Right.
pick, I should say. And a lot of people are saying it in the chat. Howie, man, we still have Howie. So
We still have no faith.
So no matter how bright the outlook might look, once you start making decisions, kind of like Jim Shorts, because I feel like that's a good decision. That's a good move. You know what I'm saying? Moving into the future. But if nothing else changes, we're just going to get another defensive coordinator that has zero say in drafts. So,
right.
I mean, what do you think is going to happen with that, Howie? I mean, they're obviously having a meeting, I believe, tomorrow or Tuesday to kind of talk about the future. More moves are supposed to be coming. So what do you think? Do you think Howie will kind of bite the bullet and say, I'll step back from drafting? Or do you think we're going to be seeing the same thing next year?
My assumptions, especially the way that this season went out, at the end of the day, it's not only about building the best team, it's also about pleasing the fans in a sense, because it is an entertainment. That is for our entertainment. And if you're going to go out there and try to be the smartest guy in the room and draft people that you don't need to be drafting at that spot, I think that kind of set him back. And I'm hoping that this last 2 years was kind of like a lesson in that. This year we got more of our rookies playing compared to last year, but I just need to see the obvious pick. I need to see when we get to pick number 5, 6, or 9, wherever we are after tonight. When that pick comes up, we're getting the best player available because we have a lot of holes to fill. It's not like you said, like if you trade back, then at least you can fill more. But I personally think that if we're in the top 5, we're not going to be there all the time, and we should get a game changer at least there and still build whatever and see what we can do with the rest of the picks and maybe do what he did last year and trade like a 3rd round and then move some things around to get more picks. Because, I mean, we got some solid pieces from those kind of trades and stuff, but we have so many holes to fill that if we grab a Devontae Smith or we grab a Jamar Chase or we grab someone on the defense or we grab someone on the offensive line, like I won't be mad about anything as long as the pick's not like a Trey Lance and we're back at square one with quarterback issues.
I mean, if we pick Trey Lance, that would just be poetic justice, to be honest. Like, it's funny because I don't know if you remember when I made, like, when I first started the channel, one of like my bigger videos was the Trey Lance versus Carson Wentz.
Right.
And I made all these comparisons, and I know I got so much hate on it, like, oh, I can't believe it. And now look at it. You know what I'm saying? He might be at the end of the day, the draft is very deep. When we were at number 3, I wouldn't have mind moving back to like 6 or 7. But now that you're at number 5, unless you can move back like 1 or 2 and still get up, really good value, say like, people are going after people like Trey Lance or Kyle Trask or, whoever it may be, Wilson, whoever the quarterback may be. If you have a quarterback hungry team that's willing to move up 1 or 2 spots and give you a 2nd rounder or a late 2nd round, whatever, I'm with it. I'm not mad at that. But like you said, if it's going to be moving out of the top 10 or something like that, I don't trust Howie enough. You know what I'm saying? I trust Howie's top 5. That's about as far as I trust his football acumen. And quick shout out to DC Andy. I've never seen your name before, so you must be new. Appreciate you. I hope you hit that subscribe button. And he says, or he or she says, Micah Parsons. I agree, 100%.
I seen mock drafts him going in like top 3, like to like the Dolphins or something.
That's the only team I could see taking him is the Dolphins. I think personally, if I'm running the Dolphins, I'm probably taking what's it called? It looks like the Texans game is going to OT. Shoot. Me personally, if I'm the Dolphins, I'm going and getting a cornerstone for that offensive line to match up with your hopeful franchise quarterback. Because look, if you suck next year, you're gonna have a top pick again. You go get a quarterback. It is what it is. You're not always gonna get a franchise changing tackle. So that's very important. Shout out to Lenny D. Everybody go check out his channel. What do you guys think we need to get in the first round because we have so many holes? So, yeah, I mean, you talked about it a little bit. You wouldn't really. I mean, Me personally, I want Micah. I'm kind of dead set on that. If Micah's not there, maybe Jamar, maybe Devontae Smith, maybe Patrick Surtain. That's kind of where my list ends. If you're not getting one of those
Right.
people, I don't know what you're doing. You know, I mean, Penny might be a reach just because we don't really need him. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I think we, like you said, I think we need to get the best player available. And to me, right now, defense is the biggest need. But either way, just best player available. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, I was just kind of saying that the best player available, if it's on the, as long as we don't draft a quarterback, or I don't think we need a running back. I like Miles Sanders. I think we're good with him. Maybe they'll re-sign Jordan Howard for the low or something like that, just so we can have that extra back in there outside of Boston Scott. But I don't think, other than that, we can really hit anything. We can hit safety, corner, linebacker, defensive line. If there's somebody that really sticks out that it's like, oh, wow, we need that guy. But other than that, wide receiver is a big one. If we hit on DK Metcalf, if we hit on Justin Jefferson, then we wouldn't be talking about a wide receiver this early. But unfortunately, we got players that are good casts. They're good like pieces, 2, 3s. We need a number one. Then we haven't had a solid number one since like Jeremy Maclin in 2010 or something.
Yeah, and I don't even think he was a number one. I mean,
he was just a 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah, he just actually had numbers. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if we got wide receiver. I just feel like we put so much draft stock into wide receiver already that it's like we have to figure out like we can't keep going every year saying that we need a wide receiver. We've done that like the past 4 years. I understand we keep missing. But it is what it is. We have to figure out other positions too. We can't just keep on wasting our first round picks. And, at the end of the day, this draft, like you said, this is probably going to be one of maybe 2 years that will be in a top 5 position. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see us being a top, or a bottom 5 team for years to come. So
right.
You have to get something is going to work. I don't even know that a wide receiver would work as a pick. You know what I'm saying? We look at our offense, and it's just who's going to really, make that offense different. I don't know if any of these wide receivers could do it. I don't know if Jalen Hurts even needs a number one wide receiver like that. Because if you look at Lamar Jackson, he doesn't really have a number one wide receiver.
He doesn't, but he has someone that can at least take the top off of defense. Like he has like Hollywood Brown, who his hands are questionable, but his speed isn't. And we don't have a guy that can catch we thought Rager was going to be that guy, and maybe he
we got Quez. We got Hightower. All those people should fill that role. Just
That's
because
true.
The fact that they didn't, this year, they didn't get the chance to.
You're right. Hightower was getting open deep in the beginning of the season, at least. I don't know what happened midway to the end. Maybe he will today, for all we know. We'll see a Hightower showing, but I don't know. I think Infamous was the one that said this at the last live call-in, is that if you have a guy like I don't want to compare any of the rookies this coming up here to be like a DeAndre Hopkins, but if you can find a guy like that, that changes so much to the offense. Like the defense has to respect that guy. That guy might get double teamed, and if he's still able to make plays and get guys like Goddard open, or Sanders, or Ward, or whoever, Rager, in the open field, like we do need something like that, because right now our offense is so basic in a sense that our threats that can be threats are being played normal. And unfortunately, sometimes you need that number one guy to get these other guys showing out. Kind of like AB when he was on the Steelers and Juju. Juju was doing well, and now AB's gone and Juju's just okay.
Yeah, see, me personally, if this was where we were, if we're on the draft, on the board, shout out to Chris. Thank you for the update. Titans take the lead with 4 seconds left. A.J. Brown caught a 53-yard pass with 18 seconds on the clock. Yes, awesome. That is what's up.
You wanted the Texans to win, right?
Yeah. And the Texans are now losing. So, yeah.
Yep, that's game. All right, so we have the 6th pick. All right,
so we're looking at the number 6 pick. Yeah, looking like the 6th
They might
pick.
want awesome. DeAndre Hopkins save reincarnate, so maybe they'll get a wide receiver too.
That's the well, Houston's not getting that pick. They're giving it to Miami. So
Oh,
Miami just got a nice little pick. So at least that's a win for Miami. Shout out to my cousin too. Let's go Eagles. Yeah, you guys, I'm sure you guys do it. I'm born into a New York Giants family, but it is what it is. Shout out to my cousin. I appreciate you coming through. But yeah, what was I saying? So if we're on the board and it's number 6, all right, and Micah's there, Jamar's there, and whatever, name anybody else, right? Because that's really the two that it would come down to for me. Maybe Devontae Smith, but I've already said I would take Jamar over. Anyways, so if it's down to those two, I'm going Micah. I am going Micah. We have seen what a leader, what a great linebacker can do for this team. We have not had one in a long time. Should we seen what a Jordan Hicks can do for this team? If you're competent and you can cover well, you know, like I think that Micah Parsons can change this defense. And I know I'm a Penn State fan, so it's probably a little bit of a homer pick, but it is what it is. Like I don't think that there's one player that can change this offense. I really do believe that one player can change this defense. That's my opinion.
You can make an argument for both sides, to be honest. Like you could get the next Luke Kuechly, and that could be a game changer for your defense and have that kind of leader and that athleticism and everything like that. Or you could have the next Terrell Owens, and that could change your offense. So, I mean, this could be arguments for both sides. I just want, either way, if it's offense or defense, the best player available that once they say their name on the jumbo screen, we can all just be like, let's go. We got someone. I'm excited about this dude. This dude's going to help us out. And I mean, it all depends on who we bring in as a defensive coordinator too. I mean, there's no promise that if we bring in someone that is like a 3-4 defensive guy, like he could change everything up. So what are your thoughts about that? Do you think that if this news that came out is absolutely true, do you think that the Eagles would just go search for another 4-3 type of guy, or it wouldn't matter? They would just go look for the best candidate available no matter what kind of defense they run?
I think, all right, well, let's say this first. To all the Eagles fans saying that we're going to somehow go get Matt Patricia, we are not going to get Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia and Darius Slay hate each other. Facts. That is literally the reason why we have Darius Slay. So I do not see that happening. Do I see us changing to a 3-4? We're at the weird position that we have so many contracts that are going to be, I don't want to say gone, but you have the option to get rid of a lot of people. We can get very young, very quick. And this draft can kind of change the direction you go in. I say go get the best person. Go get the best person you can find. I'm not trying to, I've heard a lot of people say give Mark Cann the job. I've heard, our defensive line coach getting some murmurs. I've heard D'Amico Ryan's name in a lot of conversations. If he's not coming back, as he's been the assistant for the San Francisco 49ers for a while for their defense.
Then he's been looking at the Salah, and I mean their defense.
Yeah, he's been
solid.
working with them. So I mean, but my thing is, I don't want a project. We know Doug Peterson is not a defensive mind. Doug Peterson is an offensive guy. He's not going to help you with your defense. You know what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, and shout out to Philly Mike, because he was the one that kind of said this and kind of dropped this bug in my ear. But it's like you need somebody that's going to be a head coach of that defense, just kind of like what Jim Schwartz was. I think it comes down to we need the people in the front office. It's going to keep on coming back to this because we need the people in the front office to listen to the people that they put in the position. You know what I'm saying? To be successful, we got Frank Reich for a reason. We got the old quarterback coach that we just got rid of, and now I can't think of his name. Oh man, when we won the Super Bowl. Either way, y'all know who I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm sure y'all said it. But we got him for a reason. We got Jim Schwartz for a reason. All these people knew what they were doing. They had either previous head coaching jobs or offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator jobs. So it's like we need that. We need somebody that we can just kind of hand the keys over to and say, go do what you're going to do. You know what I mean? Like, let's not worry about it. We don't got to worry about you. Shout out to Lenny D. I don't know, Joe. Devontae Smith been looking nice lately. Not gonna lie, he's been looking really good lately. But Jamar Chase has
They
been.
say he's arguably the best player in college football.
He might be this year, but Jamar Chase has been disgusting since he was a freshman. So, I mean, I go with I go with the body of work. It's very easy in college to get lost in the sauce over like one game or two games
Right.
or even one season. What's up, fellas? We should go O-line, D-line with first round pick. Got to build in the trenches. We're just so high. I don't see a defensive lineman that's good enough to pick in the top 5 or 6 or 7. Maybe offensive line. I just don't think it's that huge of a
if we have our offensive line healthy, and let's just list it out real quick. Let's say this is the starting offensive line come September. You got Jordan Mailata at left tackle. You can put Nate Herbig at left guard. Kelsey's still there, hopefully. And then a healthy Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson. That's a solid offensive line. And then with depth, you got Driscoll. You got Dillard. Hopefully he's healthy and ready to go and is competent and up to speed when it comes to next season. Hopefully there'll be an off season for all these young guys and guys who haven't got played or who haven't played can get those reps in and everything like that. But I'm not too. And then we have Sayamalu. I don't know if he's back. I don't know how that contract is. So I don't even know why I put Herbig at left guard. If we have Sayamalu, just put him back out there. He hasn't really been playing bad yet this season. It's like terribly compared to the other guys that were in there prior to him coming back.
Yeah, he's barely
or like
played.
Prior, he's been terrible. But like you said, if we're number 6 pick, I really don't know. I can't complain if we got offensive line because I get it. You want to build in the trenches, kind of like how Dallas did, and they had the crazy good offensive line for a couple of years. But with the depth that we have, and if everyone's healthy, we have a pretty solid offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, I like our offensive line. I think we're a little old, especially on the end, on the right side. But I think they're good. And it sucks because Brandon Brooks he's often injured. I don't want to say always, but he's often injured. But when he's in there, he's a top 2, and he's not number 2. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
boy goes out there and he balls out. Lane Johnson, I love Lane Johnson, but for me, if we're throwing anybody on any type of trade block on the offensive line, it's probably going to be him for me. And I've said this for a couple years. He's one bad injury from juicing back up. I hate to say it. But man, he's not getting any younger. That he takes the wrong medicine. He takes the wrong inhaler, and that boy is not playing for a while. So I don't know. The money that we have invested in him, he just makes me so scared every time he falls. Like it's just so much can go wrong with him. And I think that we have, like you said, we have somebody like Driscoll that can possibly take over for him realistically. Like, right. I really liked what I saw out of Driscoll. I'm not going to lie.
And he's a rookie, so they have time to develop.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at our offensive line and be like, oh, my God, these guys suck. And numbers-wise, yes, they did suck. But you were playing with a different person to the left or your right every game. Like, it's so hard to put, to quantify how important it is to have the same people around you day after day. Like, me and you, we don't play football, but me and you, we've grown rapport doing this, talking every day. We kind of feel each other out. We know how to like jump in for each other. Now equate that and say that there's 300-pound men trying to like knock us out. You know what I'm saying? Like you keep bringing in new people that have no idea how your left leg is going to move, and it is down to that when you're working with these men all year, how your right hand is going to move, and that's your right guard, that's your right tackle, that's your center. How all these people are going to move. So it's so hard. And this goes down to the quarterback. This goes down to every single wide receiver, not really cornerbacks because they just got exposed. But this goes down to most positions. When you don't have your team there, it's very hard to individually analyze players. There's so many things that aren't going right. It doesn't absolve anybody from, fault or anything that they've done wrong. Jamon Brown is one of the worst offensive linemen we've ever seen. It is
wild.
What it is.
We're gonna have to do a live that just looks back at this season, and That's just one of the things. Fixing your armband in the middle of a play
Oh
or
my
glove or
God.
whatever the hell it was. Like, oh, how is that a thing? Like, how do you just stop? Like, oh, snap! My arm doesn't
Hold
look
up,
good
hold
right
up.
now. Hold
Gotta
on.
get my swag on. Gotta get my swag on.
In the
Yeah, I
middle
think
of a play.
we gotta pick. So maybe we'll do it like on Instagram or something. I'll put something up. We just like I need everybody to just pick their worst play, you know what I'm saying, of the season, and we'll just kind of make like a compilation and react to it or something like that. That'll probably be cool.
Yeah.
As I said, DC people, they're having an argument about Chase. So. I just let them keep doing their thing. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think this draft is very deep. It's going to be a very weird draft. I don't know how combines are going to work. I don't know how pro days are going to work. Don't know if we're going to have them. That hopefully 2021 is a little bit more normal, but you don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What are some of the headlines you're looking at or looking forward to? Maybe that's a word we'll look. But what are some things you're looking at this off season as far as headlines?
To see what's going to happen. I mean, I think, like you said, there's going to be a meeting this week with Doug and everything. And I would like to know, like, it's official, Doug's staying, or it's not official, like he's going to go, or something like that. The fans need to know so then we can kind of like be prepared mentally ourselves instead of being left on red, basically, trying to wonder what's going to happen. But I think the biggest one is what's going on with Carson. Is he staying? Is he going? And if he's going, what are we getting in return? Because it's not like we're just going to release him. We can't like actually do that money wise. It just would financially. It's not even a plan. So
it would have. You couldn't even restructure for us to do that.
No, I think there was something that if he gives $20 million, signs a check for $20 million, and then we is promised by another team $20 million. Like this is like that just sounds so complicated. And if that happens, cool. But if Wentz is not going to be here, I'm definitely interested to see who he goes to, how much, what are we getting back in return for that? Are we saving any money? And then, I mean, low key, I'd want to see like how he does on a different team, just to see like if it was him and Doug didn't get along, or if it was, then he really is starting to decline, and we like saved ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said this a little bit in the beginning, but man, I'm not cool with you not wanting to fight. So if that's really the whole story behind this, man, I'm not with it.
But if you don't like your boss, do you want to stay? Like,
I mean, I just went through that situation.
That's what I'm saying.
Week,
I'm trying to relate it a little bit. So if you don't like your boss and you're really not getting along, and it's something that we're not seeing behind the scenes, would you want to stay?
No, but it couldn't have just happened over this. Yeah, like that's my thing.
That's what I'm saying.
It couldn't have just happened once you signed $100 million contract. You had to have had some type of pre-existing condition to use. I've been watching too much Dr. Mike or whatever it is on YouTube, but you've had to have some pre-existing problem there. There had to be something there, and you still signed that contract. That's what kills me the most is that, and like you said, it's probably a lot easier saying it as somebody that doesn't have millions of dollars. That if you give me a couple hundred, even Ryan said it, man. You give me $60 million, I'm buying the nicest clipboard I could find.
Right.
I'm putting DirecTV on that clipboard, and I'm in this, John. I am gonna be the best backup quarterback you have ever seen in your life. You know what I'm saying? For $60 million. Shout out to Share Randall. Yeah, and Chris says, why not make Deuce OC? We need to run more. What has Deuce done? Listen, I'm gonna start getting a little bit. This is the end of the season. I'm gonna start just laying stuff out there, man. I don't know what Deuce is. Nobody knows what Deuce is.
Deuce is a running back coach. That's what he is. They put all these little fancy titles to him because he's been here for a while and he's like a fan favorite. He's loyal to the organization, but I don't see us running the ball more. And he's a running back coach, unless he loves to pass the ball too for some reason. I just don't see what he does to help our offense. Besides, obviously, Miles Sanders has gotten better, especially at blocking and everything like that. Like he needs to work on his hands more, maybe do some tennis ball catches all off season. But he's been a heck of a running back coach and a fan favorite. I just don't see what he does to Doug being the head coach assistant or assistant head coach.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're so all these people are so buddy. You know what I'm saying? It's like Everybody's just out there playing pickup games. It doesn't feel like we're an actual organization. I feel like me and you bought a team, and we're just inviting all our friends to come coach with us. Like, come on, it's gonna be a ball, man. We have a professional team, man.
Right.
We're just gonna come out here and have a whole bunch of fun. Like, that's what it feels like right now. Because if Deuce, there's no way, unless I could be 100% wrong in this. Just don't get me wrong, but for me, if I'm a running back, there's no way you're telling me we're not running the ball. Like, the development of our running backs has, to your point, been very good. This year I feel like it's like regressed a little bit just due to their lack of, opportunity, realistically. You know what I'm
Lack of
saying? But
opportunity and
so it's like, what are these people? Who are all these people? We have so many assistant head coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like, we
right.
were using the analogy earlier in the season. We have all these cooks in the kitchen, but ain't one meal got made this year. Not one meal got made this year. Everybody's prepping a bunch of different dumb type of recipes. Nobody put anything in the oven. Nothing's happening this year.
Right.
Like, Doug Peterson is just sitting, to keep on with the analogy of a cook. Doug Peterson's sitting at the oven, looking at everything. He's looking at beautiful turkeys going by him like, damn, that would taste good, huh? Nah, we good. Yeah, if he sees a steak go by him, ooh, that do look good. But nah, we gonna have what I'm making. And that's all we've seen. We've seen
Right.
nothing but Doug. And then when things go wrong, when it's players play poorly or whatever, then it becomes, well, Howie has all the power. Then Howie doesn't say nothing. I haven't heard from Howie in a while.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? That man went back to the playhouse. It was like, I'm done. So I just don't know, man. I'm just so nervous about this offseason because we're going to regret giving up Carson Wentz, whether he's great or not. It is what it is. Shout out to Alex Cupsis, yo. Yeah, everybody be ready for that. We are going to be having the baseball talk, man. Outside the Diamond is coming.
It'll be exciting.
It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So shout out to him. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
About baseball this year, but speaking of like playing on your nerves,
and then he says stuff like this. Come on, man. Like, don't get kicked out on your first. Don't get fired on your day off now.
Speaking on your nerves and everything like that, are you nervous at all for like Jalen Hurts tonight? In the fact that,
man, I'm glad you bring that up. Why even start him?
Our offensive line, we have two left and right tackles that are not even playing. Like, it's just, why is he out there? Miles Sanders is not out there. Alshon's not out there. Deshaun's not out there. This guy's literally going to be playing with his second team that he was practicing with when he was a backup against starters that are hungry and want to go to the playoffs.
Yeah, I keep on wanting to say that to people, and I keep on forgetting. So I'm glad you brought that up because that makes zero. Yeah, shout out to Infamous. Yeah, Nate's my QB. That's it. I would rather you put Greg Ward out there at quarterback. I'd rather see Jake Elliott play some QB than you put Jalen Hurts out there. Like, I understand the mentality that you want. The reps are probably more important than whatever could happen in that game just because he's under a rookie contract and you do still technically have Wentz. But, man, the memes, man, the offseason headlines, we think that there's rumors now. Let Jalen Hurts get hurt.
Facts, bro. He tears
an
AC, like, knock on wood, but these are real injuries in a real dangerous game where this has been a season I feel like I've seen so many people tear their ACL. Let Jalen run to the right, someone come from the left, and boom, hits his knee or something low. This is a crazy good defensive line, too. So they're going to get through our offensive line multiple times this game. And like you said, I can only imagine what it would all look like if Hurts goes down tonight for no reason.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's for no reason. DC Andy says, just give him. Oh, and just so in case you didn't read the comment, because I definitely did. He said it. He didn't change it. He's not new. He just had to change his name because his sugar mama keep on stalking him. So shout out to you, DC Eddie. Not all of us. I wish I was pimping like you, bro. You got to teach me your ways. But he says, just give him a chance. What did Doug do before he got his job? Joe Judge was a special teams coach, and he just got a head coach job. Why can't Deuce get a job? It's not that he can't get a job. And a special teams coach has a lot of responsibility. Special teams coach outside of the head coach probably deals with the whole team more than any other coach. So it is a big – I understand what you're saying, though. Don't get me wrong. And he did come from an offensive coordinator position before that. So Joe Judge is a little bit different than what Deuce is, just because Deuce has been
Also,
kitty
yeah.
cornered. Go
He
ahead. Go
also
ahead.
was just from the Belichick tree. That Belichick's name puts a lot of weight on some of these coaches, like a Matt Patricia. So you got to figure that probably played into it. And they were coming off some of their worst seasons they've ever had. So even going after like someone like under the Belichick tree, you're just hoping for some kind of spark, something that he can bring that he learned from Belichick over to New York.
Yeah, and I want to go back on that special teams thing because I've said this a couple times in our group chat over the years, and I've said this in a couple lives this year. I feel like one of our, maybe not this year, it's been kind of bad, but over the years, one of our most consistent coaches outside of Stoutland with our offensive line has been Dave Fitt. And we've seen coaches go from special teams coordinator to head coach and be very successful. We look at Joe Judge, if you want to look at now, he's obviously not very successful, but he's had some success in New York. You look at the Harbaugh that came out of Philly. He was a special teams coordinator for Philly. He's obviously a great coach now. Do you think in any, and Titans definitely just won, so screw them. Do you think that there's any world that Dave Fitt maybe gets a look?
I mean, sure. In any world,
Who cares?
I mean, any coach can get a look, right? Like if you've been consistent at your job and been doing well, our special teams. Granted, this year's special teams wasn't amazing compared to other seasons where we've gotten more touchdowns or bigger plays or made field goals and stuff like that. This year, I feel like our special teams, especially when it came to the field goal unit, was not utilized at all. Like it was most of the time we were going for it on fourth or going for two, even when we didn't need to go for two. So it's tough because when the head coach is making these decisions, it kind of puts a damper on other positional coaches and stuff like that, or like you said, or like the special teams coach compared to the defensive coordinator, but it puts him in a tough spot. But I think Dave Fitt, like you said, he's been consistent. And he could get an opportunity to go elsewhere unless he just didn't want to, unless he's content with special teams.
Maybe he is. I mean, he hasn't really seemed to want to move anywhere. I want to see something, man. I want to see something happen. It doesn't look like, Doug's going anywhere.
If it was his decision to keep Greg Ward back there, then maybe he needs to do a little
reevaluate some things. For real, though. I mean, that's the whole thing. We just still don't know anything. As much as we can kind of try and put dots together, try and connect the dots, try and figure out what's going on. We just don't know. Like everything is just, it seems like everything's being held back. And then now more things are coming out, but it's a lot of finger pointing. It's a lot of, well, this guy's not letting me do that, or that guy's not letting me do that. I feel like Jim Schwartz, honestly, even though, I've made a lot of jokes about him. He had a terrible season. He hasn't been the greatest this past couple of years, but I respect him. He's a great person, great coach. And honestly, he's my spirit animal because that's how I'm walking out. You're not firing me, buddy. You know what I'm saying? I can see the writing on the wall. I'm out, bro. Like, it is what it is. I respect that much about him. He left on his own terms. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the only reason he's taking a year off is because I believe he has a non-compete. I believe he can't sign with another team for at least a year. So I think he's just saying, you know what? I'm out. Like, I'm going to go work on my sticks defense in the dojo or whatever, like.
I mean, what if he's actually not out? Like, what if that's just a headline and then come to find out in a couple of weeks, it's like, nah, I'm actually going to stay and do this out for another year.
That would make everything worse. That would make everything worse. I mean, the Philadelphia media probably needs a little bit of a smack in the face like that because I feel like they are grasping at a lot of stuff and they're lying about a lot of stuff. I mean, let's be 100% honest. They are just they're fabricating a lot of stories, and I feel like they've gotten caught this year. And I hate that you don't talk about Philly because it's that's my peoples and stuff.
Right.
But the media has been a little bit tough this year as far as football goes, and it's somewhat understandable. It's a different season. It's harder. You're not there, so you are kind of going off a lot more he say, she say. But if that happens, man, people are Philly fans are going to be upset because I think we're all getting to that point that we want to see somebody go. Someone has to go. Someone has to be the scapegoat more than just Carson. You know what I'm saying? Because we all see that it's far more than just Carson. And I think we're able to bite that bullet on Carson knowing that the money just doesn't make sense right now to be rebuilding with that type of money on your contract, especially if the guy wants to leave. But if he doesn't want to leave, that's another story that we could be looking at in a week or two. And like, well, looks like we got Carson. So, what are we going to
Right.
do? I mean, I think today was very telling, though. I think them benching Carson, or not even activating Carson, I should say, not even suiting him up. I think that says a lot.
What's wild is that they aren't suiting up Goddard, but they're suiting up Ertz. So it's just like, did Ertz like? Is it true? Like, if we don't find a trade partner for Ertz, do we have the chance to just release him, or is that gonna hurt us cap wise? Like, how I just don't understand where this is coming from. Where he's not going to be here next year. His farewell post from his brother, and the fact that he's playing tonight. Maybe it's like, this is my last game as an Eagle. But like, if people are like, nah, we don't want him, then what? Does he just stay an Eagle and he just waits till he's a free agent?
See, I think I'm gonna be honest. I think the thing that'll happen more so than people not wanting him is we won't find what we think is worth it. Because we have him under contract for the next 2 years. And
right.
I would love for our organization to be like, buck the heck up. It is what it is. You're under contract, play or sit out. It is what it is. And I think that's probably it's gonna come to that. And we might end up giving him an extra $1 million or $2 million because I just don't see people giving us what we think he's worth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of people are gonna throw us fourths, fifths. Maybe they think that's what he's worth. Maybe, the Eagles are cool with that.
They take him with a fourth.
Yeah, I just don't see us getting a second, a third for him, maybe a third. I wouldn't be mad at a third. I still think that's undervaluing him. He's just such a weird player to really value because at 30 years old, there's really no marquee. There's no number like there is for running backs. Like, they say with running backs at 30, you start slowing down.
Right. Because there's some older tight ends. Like Antonio Gates played until he was like 30, mid-30s.
Exactly. And I don't feel like Ertz ever really relied on his speed or his agility. He's always just been kind of a performance kind of guy. He's been like a technical guy. He runs good routes, has good hands.
Jason Witten's still playing, I think, right? He's in Las Vegas.
I think
year.
He's still running a route right now. Like, he just started it last week, but he might be done with it soon. I mean, he's slow, but it is what it is. I mean, I just don't think that we'll get what we deserve for Ertz.
Well, I don't think we're going to get what we deserve for any of the players that we're trying to get rid of this offseason outside of like Alshon. Just like, take them.
Yeah, for real. Like, I'll give you something. Like, I'll give you something.
I'll give you Alshon and this 4th round pick. Just take his money.
You know what I would love to see? I would love to see a team like right outside of the number 5, number 6, or something like that, or 7, 8, some within the top 15. I would love to get a call from a team like that when we're getting to number 5, 6, and they see, okay, there's a lot of people still available. Give us your 1st round pick. You know what I'm saying? We'll give you Carson. You know what I mean? We'll throw you our 2nd. Now we got 2 top 15 picks in the 1st. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see some Madden type stuff happening. I want what we want every single year, but I need it to actually happen this year. Every year we go into the draft and we're like, hey man, we need to see, him trade this to get this and go there to get this. We never really stay at our position, but this is the time. If you are going to ever redeem yourself, Howie, it's going to be with you making trades and then locking yourself in the bathroom once they're going to actually make the pick. That's what I need from you, Howie. I need you to just make some good trades, make some good, decisions financially, then just hide because we don't need you anymore. Like, let them make their decision.
I mean, that's what we all can hope for. Think you could
get a 4th for Ertz? Maybe. I mean, I think you could. It depends on what team. But there's a lot of good tight ends in the league right now, and there's a lot of good tight ends coming into the league. It's one of those positions that is definitely changing. Don't want to trade up at all, just stay where we are. No, I want to stay where we are, but I also want another pick in the 1st round. I would take that. I would not be mad. So, I mean, all right, so let's do this. All right, the game's about to come on, so we're about to get off here. But
oh Lord.
Let's do it for the one time. Let's just do it.
I mean, we're both I'm gonna go with my picks. I'm assuming that's what you want. You want to score and all that. It's sad to say this is the end of the year for us, And unfortunately and fortunately, we need to go out with an L. It is what it is. So I'm going to go Washington 24, Eagles 14.
That's actually pretty close. Yeah, I'll say 27-20. I think that Hurts will put on a little bit of a show, hopefully. But listen, infamous. Don't. This is not goodbye.
This is just the
See you
pregame
later.
goodbye, bro. This is just the
to see you
pregame.
later. Nah, don't get me all emotional. No, but no, yeah, I'm gonna say 27-20. But while I still got everybody in here, man, we still got like 15, 16 people in here, man. We're so close to 1,000. I appreciate everybody that's rocked with us.
Friends.
Yeah, invite your friends. Tell the Eagles friends, come on, join the family. But no, really, I do appreciate you guys just supporting us so much, man. We've met some incredible people because of you guys. Like,
right.
The support is real. Be ready for that interview tomorrow. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Be ready for that interview. Hit me up. I'll see you Thursday. Yeah, Brooklyn. But but no, yeah. So be sure to check out that interview tomorrow with the mascot Swoop. We did it. It was big. It was beautiful. He was an amazing
member
guy.
of Inside the Eagles Stadium on Philly the podcast. It's exciting. It was fun.
Exactly. He high-fived George Bush. He high-fived the president. I interviewed somebody that high-fived the president. Give me some love. But but hopefully everybody can enjoy this last game, man. Again, thank you so much for all the support. Be sure to hit that subscribe, hit that like, join the family if you have not. We're going to be starting baseball very soon. We are getting everything. We're getting everything. We got the baseball going soon, and we are going to be doing a whole bunch of off-season talk. Like I said, I am now working with A2D Radio, so we're going to bring a lot of their people over here, do some collabs. I'll be on their shows doing some collabs. So, like, I love you guys. You getting Swoop in here, like Swoop. Yeah, Swoop.
Yeah, like Swoop.
Like the mascot. I just finished the interview with him.
Yeah,
it's going to be up tomorrow.
Just a quick heads up. He was with the organization for 12 years back with like McNabb and all those dudes. Like, this guy was here during some prime time during the Eagles history.
Yeah, it's like a 30-minute conversation too. Just cool stories, man. That guy had some cool stories. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, man, I don't think I could say thank you again. I think that's a little bit played out. So y'all know how we gonna do it. This is the last one. This is the last pregame. So Eagles fly
to next season.
Yes, sir. We're gonna fly on the road to next season. But we are out here.
Boo.
Peace. Say bye to the people, Brandon. Say bye. Be nice.
Later, guys.